Hello and welcome back. It's T-Cypher here. Long time no see. Life's moved on, back at work, so been very busy. So back to my Queen Bee. Now, studying it is great, but there's the one thing I don't like is the way that this actuator here does get quite a bit of wobble potential on it, even with the way I've strengthened it up. So I'll just go up a bit. Still quite a lot of potential deflection going on there. I'm not that fond of that. So there is a system called the let's get it right, tingle tension system. I know others have done it, converted theirs, and it's available from a company called Bulkman 3D for a grand cost of $10.90 for the actual bits you need to do it, excluding the actual Acme screw thread. They do sell kits with the Acme screw thread, but I'm only really worried about the flex on the long x-axis I have here. So £10.90, that's not a bad price I thought, so I'll put it in my cart. The only problem is it turns out they then charge an additional $31, $40 for the delivery. So okay, put that into a bit of a downer. So instead I had a little look, and it's a pretty much open source system, so I did a little bit of research and found out what you actually needed. So you needed some thrust bearings and some lock collars and some spacers and stuff like that. So basically what I've done is I've gone out onto Amazon and eBay and I've picked up some F8-16M thrust bearings for like a £5 UK sterling. That's a pack of 10 of those, which is more than enough to do every single axis I've got going here. And some 8mm lock collars. Again, this was on eBay, they were like £2 each, delivered. And then leftovers from when I upgraded the work bee up to the Queen Bee, I have some 60mm M5 low profiles. The kit recommends a 55mm, but it's what I've got, and since I've cut the axis long anyway, it should be plenty. And then I need some 6mm spacers, which I've got some lying around somewhere, so I'll get a hold of them in a minute. So my aim today is to partially disassemble my x-axis Acme screw thread and convert this to a tingle system. Okay, so before I start, and as anybody who's watched this channel before probably knows, I quite often have to sort of work out as I go along how to put something together. And the interesting thing about the Queen Bee is these plates here. You notice on the outside that it's recessed for the bearing. Now on the inside it's recessed as well, so I might not even need to actually extend these legs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to disassemble, move this section completely out of the way just for the time being, and I'm going to then wind out the x-axis, the thread, to the point where I can remove these this lock collar and the bearing. So this is simply a roller bearing. Move the roller bearing on the inside and repeat it the same for the other side. So hopefully when I come back, we're at the point where I've taken off the bearing. Okay, as you can see, I've taken the stepper motor off, exposing the stub end of the Acme thread there. Now I've got proud by 8.52mm from the locking washer there. So what I probably should do, because that's probably not the number I want, is measure this distance here. So I apologise, I am pre-hounding the lights because of lack of technical equipment. So if I bring my micrometer in and do a super inaccurate measurement, because well, we are 16.12mm off this back face here. Okay, so yep, let's just try and get the focus back in. Don't think I'm going to, but yeah, we've got 16mm there. So what I'm going to do now is I've taken off the bearing off the other end already. So what I can do now is move this one and bring the axis across, so I can then move this bearing onto the inside. Okay, so now we've got the bearing off and moved to the inside. Like I said, we can see here the recess. Now these recesses are identical both inside and outside. I've also measured this bearing, the bearing that I took out, and that's a 5mm bearing. Apparently these are 5mm bearings as well, and I'm hoping it'll drop into that recess there. So that's what I'm going to try next. Okay, so the bearings themselves are made out of 3 parts. I've got 2 in my hands here. One is a set of ball bearings and a racer. Then we've got the 2 actual bearing faces themselves. First one I've already installed there, it fits in there, no problem at all. So I'm now going to place the second one in. I do apologise about the light. So hopefully this will just slide on nice and easy. By the way, I have already set this height to 16.25mm. And then final one's going to go in. And before I go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to go grab my can of some silicone grease. I've got it somewhere around here, white lithium will do. Okay, I'm sure you guys are used to this in my videos now of me just doing random things. Okay, I'm going to give a bit of a squirt, I think, just to give it some lubricant. I think I'll be able to spray it anyway afterwards, just by the position. You can see it sits quite nicely in there. So now what I'm going to take is I'm going to take one of my lock bushes, which again I haven't actually backed off because I'm an idiot. Okay, on he goes. And at this moment in time, I'm just going to quickly double check the height is still good at 16.25. Go in this angle so I can see what I'm doing. That looks good to me. I'm going to got the bush on. And I'm going to tighten it up. And I must admit, why do I think these bushes are too big? I bet you I've got the wrong size bush. Yes, I have, because I think I've got 8mm instead of 6mm, because I'm an idiot. Okay. Okay, so what I've just done is actually measured the inside of the mating device here to find out how much depth I had, and that gave me 10mm. So what I've done is actually I've moved the end of the thread out a little bit just so there's more engagement. So it's now at about 9mm out. There should be about 1mm between the front face and this face here, so we should have plenty of space here, and this is out without upgrading the length of the M5 bolts. So now what I'm going to do is the kits you get from Bulkman has a thread device in it to allow you to tighten it. Now I didn't get the kit, so I've had to think, how do I solve the problem? Well, the funny thing is, when you upgrade the work bee to the Queen bee, you end up with 2 of these Acme thread blocks left over, so that'll do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw one onto this end, and then I'll screw on another one onto the other side, make sure this can't rotate, and slowly tighten it up to the point where I'm happy that the rotation is still free, and then lock it off at the other end. I'm not going to film that because I can't work out how to do it without more hands. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you again after that. Okay, so what I've done, I've tightened it up. What I ended up doing was actually used a couple of clamps to clamp across the top face of here on the far side. Then I tightened up on this end, so it's nice and tight now. It seems to move nice and smoothly, and it's still flexed there, but it just feels less so than it was before. And what I've done is put the bearings that were the roller bearings now in place on the inside, so that should keep everything square. So that's it done. So that's the Queen Bee tingled, and hopefully that will work. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you. I seem to have some subscribers now. Don't know why, but hey ho. Hopefully they find this content interesting I'm creating, and I do hope to keep creating content, but I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, I'm moving home shortly, so who knows what will happen after that. Need to get this fully finished off. As you can see, the bed's in place, and it's actually quite a nice bed. So yeah, hopefully before long I might be able to show some footage of actual cutting going on with this, and I do want to make it so that the spindle's controlled by the software, the cam software, which will make it a lot easier than manually fiddling with the speed setting. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Never know, I might do a video next on squaring the spindle up, etc., but who knows. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I think it'd be funny if we can somehow reach 100 subscribers. But please like if you want to, don't mind, and have a good day.